always wanted to modify the wax blend to be more stable, more shelf stable, from a color change standpoint, burn cleaner, and give off more fragrance. So those were my main goals in finding a new wax. And I probably went through 300 or 400 different versions of waxes, from paraffin soy blends, using 3 to 4 different ingredients. I mean, we analyzed every company's wax in the marketplace. And just because you can have a good wax formula with a certain jar doesn't mean that that wax going into a different jar is going to work the same. I mean, every single thing matters when it comes to the candle system. So we finally got to this blend of soy waxes. So it's a couple different waxes that we blend together to get the right melt point. And I was just like, when we discovered this mix, I was just blown away with the burn performance. It was just unbelievable. The flames always stayed at the same height from top to bottom, burned clean, little to zero soot. I mean, I've got one of the new soy waxes that burned top to bottom, no trimming of the wicks. And I mean, it's super clear. I mean, it's hard to see on video, but if you get a little flame through it, I mean, there is no soot in here. And what soot there was, probably from me lighting it with a match going sideways. So I was just blown away with this system. Soy, this one's the paraffin. So the soy wax melted out in half the time that the paraffin did, and is definitely delivering more fragrance right now. And this one, you kind of start to see the wax pool is starting to change colors a little bit. There's a little bit of tunneling going on. I think that'll correct itself. But these started out, the flames, when these were first lit, similar flame heights. And it just, I believe that the soy corrects a lot of these issues. And I've been really happy with the performance of it so far. But with anything new, you're going to run into some issues with certain fragrances, and we're going to get better as the years go on. We're still developing and redeveloping fragrances to, improve the product's performance. But I think that this was a huge step in the right direction for us. Not to mention having the marketing ability to say, yes, we do have a soy candle line and we have a paraffin line. So Country Candle is always going to stay modeling paraffin wax. That's never been a consideration. You really don't have any limitations if you're coloring the wax. So if you've got a dark fragrance oil, just don't make it in a white candle. And that line has always been super strong, done well for us. And now we have the marketing ability to place candles in different stores. If someone says, oh, I want an all natural blend, we've got that for you. If someone says we want a paraffin candle, we've got that for you. If someone wants a 3-wick that's a paraffin soy blend, we've got that for you. So we're a manufacturer of all different kinds of candles. So when we made the shift from paraffin to soy in the Classic line, we increased the fragrance percentage per ounce of wax by 40%. So we've gone up in fragrance drastically in the new wax. So that really helps bring out some of the fragrance. But in some cases, you do need to tweak the fragrances and their solvent systems in order to have better evaporation. We developed a new wick, and it's a 100% cotton wick. It's a flat braid, but what was really challenging and was probably one of the biggest feats that I think we overcame with making a soy candle is this particular wick. A lot of flat braids, they curl, and you'll notice that there is a little bit of a curl to the wick. It's kind of a self-trimming mechanism, so the wick starts to curl, but what can happen with soy is carbon can start to form on the tip of the wick. And if it's not sturdy enough, and if the braid doesn't hold up, what can happen is the wick can actually curl and touch down into the wax pool from the tip of the wick and create kind of a U shape. That's really bad for candles. It can cause them to get too hot, get to flash point. It can cause the wax pool to get really murky. And this wick, my biggest feat with it was designing it so that it had enough rigidity while still being a flat braid to never do that. So we've really rarely ever seen that happen in this blend. So the soy wax is an all natural blend, and all of our fragrances, from Kringle to Country Candle to the soy blend, they all use a mixture of natural and synthetic ingredients in the fragrances. And that's just standard in the candle industry. Country Candle is a classic modeling paraffin wax. So it's a straight cut, pure paraffin wax that's colored, uses a high concentration of fragrance oils, and it's really our family's original recipe, with the exception that we put 2 wicks in it instead of 1 wick. Yeah, my family's been making this style jar since the 60s. So my dad started Yankee Candle. He made his first candle in the basement, and the rest is kind of history, I suppose. And Kringle is now it is an all-natural soy wax, 2 wicks, different aesthetic to the jar, straight cylinders, a little foot on the bottom, matching lid, and soy wax. So it really is just a personal preference in terms of your taste and style. I like them both very much, and we're just here to offer options. All right. Well, anyway, thanks so much, and catch you next time.